predicting the future of literature, and why it might get weird. This video attempts to present aspects of the future development of literature, focusing on its increasingly what could be called weird trajectories. We will explore current trends, digital platforms, diverse voices, AI's impact, and social media's influence, and how they are shaping new, unconventional forms of storytelling. We will analyze how these trends are reshaping the literary ecosystem, leading to new forms of storytelling that might challenge our traditional notions of authorship and narrative. We will also consider how shifts in cultural values and the increasing influence of technology contribute to a literary landscape that is poised to become increasingly unconventional, perhaps even unsettlingly bizarre in its creativity and expression. The future of literature promises to be far weirder but potentially also more profound than anything we can imagine. Continue watching to discover what we can expect from the future of literature and just how weird it might truly get. Current trends and challenges to literature. Today's literary landscape bears little resemblance to the hallowed halls of traditional publishing. While dusty bookstores retain a certain charm, literature is undergoing a radical transformation, driven by relentless technological advancement and evolving reader expectations. The challenges are immense, a fundamental shift not just in format, but in how stories are created, consumed, and even conceived. The digital tide is rising, and it's bringing sea monsters. The rise of digital platforms has irrevocably altered the literary ecosystem. The once dominant reign of the physical book is being challenged on all fronts: ebooks and audiobooks. These digital formats have democratized access to literature, offering convenience and portability that traditional books struggle to match. While print books retain a devoted following and a certain tactile pleasure, the exponential growth of ebooks and audiobooks, especially amongst younger demographics, suggests a clear trend towards digital consumption. Serialized storytelling and web fiction. Platforms like Wattpad, Royal Road, and Substack allow writers to publish their work chapter by chapter, building an audience and engaging in real-time feedback. Web fiction, often characterized by its rapid-fire pacing and genre-bending narratives, is attracting a new generation of readers accustomed to instant gratification and constant stimulation. A chorus of voices, a symphony of genres, the homogeneity of the traditional literary canon is slowly but surely giving way to a vibrant tapestry of diverse voices and genres. This is not just a feel-good trend. It's a necessary evolution that enriches the entire literary experience. Increased representation. Finally, stories are being told from a wider range of perspectives, reflecting the true diversity of human experience. This shift is not just about ticking diversity boxes. It's about authentic storytelling that challenges the status quo and expands our understanding of the world. Blending of genres and styles. The rigid boundaries between genres are blurring, leading to a fascinating cross-pollination. Fantasy elements are creeping into literary fiction. Science fiction is embracing social commentary, and romance is getting a healthy dose of horror. This phenomenon is appealing to readers who crave the unexpected and refuse to be confined by traditional categories. The tech gremlins are in the typewriter, and they're rewriting the rules. The impact of technology on literature goes far beyond mere format changes. We're now seeing technology actively participate in the creative process, blurring the lines between human and artificial intelligence, AI in writing and publishing. AI is no longer a futuristic fantasy. It's a rapidly evolving reality in the literary world. AI writing tools can now generate plot outlines, create character profiles, and even write entire passages of text. This raises unsettling questions about authorship, creativity, and the very definition of art. How long until an AI wins the Pulitzer? And, more importantly, how will we feel about that? Interactive narratives and gamification. The line between reading and gaming is interactive narratives, where the reader's choices directly influence the plot, are gaining popularity. Imagine a novel where you don't just read about the protagonist's journey, you become the protagonist, making decisions that determine their fate. The influence of social media on literature, #BookTok, #Instapoetry, and the rise of the literary fleeting social media platforms have become dynamic forces, shaping reading habits and creating trends. A viral tweet can propel a book to the bestseller list, an influencer's endorsement can trigger a reading frenzy, yet this new landscape is a double-edged sword, presenting both unprecedented opportunities and significant challenges for literature's future. From browsing shelves to scrolling feeds, social media's impact on reading habits. Today's readers increasingly discover their next book through curated social media feeds, not labyrinthine bookstore aisles. #BookTok alone, a vibrant TikTok community, boasts billions of views and can catapult obscure titles to global fame. Similarly, aesthetically pleasing Instagram posts by bookstagrammers influence reading choices. Social media has transformed book discovery into a dynamic, community-driven, and highly visual experience. The rise of the literary influencer and the power of the algorithm. In today's literary ecosystem, influencers, individuals with large book-focused followings, hold considerable power. Their recommendations can make or break a book, which democratizes book promotion through bypassing traditional gatekeepers. But this raises questions about authenticity, as social media algorithms prioritize engagement, often favoring sensationalism over substance. Ephemeral literature. Is this the future of storytelling? The rise of ephemeral literature, storytelling designed for social media's fleeting nature, is both fascinating and unsettling. Instapoetry, short, aesthetically pleasing poems shared on Instagram, has exploded in popularity, while Twitter fosters microfiction, incredibly brief stories, constrained by character limits. These forms represent a significant shift in literary creation and consumption, offering immediate, accessible narratives perfectly suited to today's shorter attention spans. Predicting the future of literature. Current trends suggest that the future of literature transcends simply turning pages or swiping screens. It's about stepping into entirely new dimensions of storytelling. A literary explosion is imminent, a radical reimagining of narrative that will make the traditional novel seem quaint. Prepare for a journey into a literary multiverse where genres collide, technology fuels imagination, and the act of reading itself is transformed and made wonderfully weird. A genre galaxy far, far away and getting closer. The traditional boundaries of genre are not just blurring. They're dissolving, reforming, and exploding into a dazzling array of new possibilities. Speculative fiction expansion. Speculative fiction, encompassing science fiction, fantasy, horror, and more, is no longer a niche genre. It's becoming a dominant force in literature. As our world grapples with unprecedented technological and societal shifts, speculative fiction provides a powerful lens for exploring potential consequences. Hybrid formats, the rise of the literary chimera. Prepare for the rise of hybrid literary forms, the literary chimera, seamlessly blending text, video, audio, and interactive elements. Imagine novels where scenes unfold as short films, characters' inner lives are revealed through audio clips, and supplementary text expands the world's lore. Technology's wild ride. From robot authors to brain-melting realities, technology is not just changing how we consume literature, it's transforming the very act of creation and the nature of the reading experience itself. AI-authored works, the rise of the algorithmic muse. AI's foray into literature has begun, and the future promises even more sophisticated and potentially unsettling developments. The possibilities, I-human collaborations, AI ghostwriters, are both exciting and unsettling. Immersive storytelling experiences, AR/VR stepping into the story. Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, are poised to revolutionize storytelling. Imagine reading a novel, or, with VR, stepping directly into a fully realized, fictional world, interacting with characters as if you were truly there. The new generation of readers, and a global tapestry of stories. The readers of the future will be vastly different from those of today, and their preferences will shape the literary landscape in profound ways. Younger audiences and their preferences. Raised on digital media and interactive entertainment, younger generations demand more engaging and immersive reading experiences. They gravitate toward diverse voices, genre-bending narratives, and stories reflecting the complexities of their world. Global influences on literature. The Internet has shattered geographical barriers in literature, fostering a global exchange of ideas and stories. Expect a surge in translated works, exposing readers to diverse perspectives and narrative traditions. Why literature might get weird. Embracing the absurd, the surreal, and the utterly unconventional, we've examined the technological, genre-bending, and demographic shifts reshaping literature. This represents a fundamental shift in how we perceive reality, express ourselves, and find meaning in an increasingly complex world. Prepare for literature, the rise of the absurd and the surreal. Finding meaning in the meaningless in a world that often feels like it's spinning off its axis, it's no surprise that writers are turning to absurdism and surrealism to reflect the strange realities of modern life. Absurdism, with its focus on the inherent meaninglessness of existence and the futility of the human search for purpose, offers a darkly humorous and strangely comforting lens through which to view the chaos. Expect to see more stories that embrace illogical situations, black humor, and characters who grapple with the existential dread of a world that often feels random and indifferent. Surrealism, with its dreamlike imagery, bizarre juxtapositions, and exploration of the subconscious, provides a powerful tool for tapping into the hidden anxieties and desires of the human psyche. Imagine stories where dreams merge with reality, where the laws of physics are optional, and where the subconscious takes center stage. Experimentation with form and content, breaking the mold, smashing the typewriter. The weirdness of future literature won't be limited to themes and ideas. It will also manifest in radical experimentation with form and content. Writers are increasingly pushing the boundaries of traditional narrative structures, playing with language and incorporating multimedia elements to create entirely new reading experiences. Nonlinear narratives, fragmented storylines, and unreliable narrators will become increasingly common, reflecting the fractured and often contradictory nature of modern life. Forget neat, tidy plots, but instead prepare for stories that jump back and forth in time, shift perspectives, and leave you questioning what is real and what is not. Language itself will become a playground for experimentation, with writers incorporating elements of internet slang, code switching, and even entirely new forms of language that reflect the evolving nature of communication in the digital age. Cultural shifts driving the unconventional. A world in flux demands new stories. The rise of the weird in literature is not just a stylistic choice. It's a direct response to the profound cultural shift. The information overload and constant connectivity of the digital age have created a sense of fragmentation and disorientation, leading writers to explore themes of alienation, isolation, and the search for meaning in a hyper-connected world. The increasing awareness of social and political issues is fueling a desire for literature that challenges the status quo. Expect to see more stories that grapple with these complex issues, often through the lens of satire, dystopia, or speculative fiction. The breakdown of traditional power structures and the rise of new social movements are creating space for marginalized voices and unconventional perspectives to be heard. The weird in this context is simply the unfamiliar, the stories and perspectives that have been pushed to the margins for too long. Conclusion: welcome to the literary wonderland. It's going to get weird. We stand at the dawn of a new literary era, a future shimmering with exhilarating promise and delightful weirdness. We've journeyed through the digital rise of ebooks and web fiction, navigated the emergence of new genres, and glimpsed the strange potential of AI in storytelling. Traditional literary structures are crumbling, yielding to a fluid, dynamic landscape where genres blend, formats morph, and technology reshapes storytelling. The future brims with speculative fiction and AI, hybrid narratives fusing text, video and sound, and immersive experiences that transport readers into the story's heart. Social media remains a wild west of literary trends and ephemeral forms like Instapoetry. Amidst the whirlwind of change, one constant remains: humanity's fundamental need for stories. Literature, in all its evolving forms, will remain a vital force, reflecting our anxieties and aspirations, serving as a laboratory for new ideas, and connecting us to each other and the wider world. Embracing change and innovation, we must shed preconceived notions of what literature should be, and embrace the strange, the unexpected, and the wonderfully weird. The future of literature isn't a destination, but a journey we're all sharing, a conversation, a collaboration, a constant evolution. It may get gloriously, wonderfully weird, but it will undeniably reflect the messy, creative, ever-evolving human spirit.